Tomorrow, if you're listening on release day, is Wednesday. And what does Wednesday and Saturdays have in common?
We wear pink.
That's right. They're Aldi's special buy days.
Oh, God, here we go.
So whip out your catalogues and let's look through some amazing deals on this week's good but different episode of Cheeky Tales.
What?
Whip out your catalogues.
What? What are we doing?
What is this going
What
to
is
be?
this episode?
This episode is the history of Aldi
Hell yeah!
as a spiritual
Successor to Dr.
sequel
Pepper.
to Dr. Pepper.
Yeah, you did say you were gonna. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
all about brand history episodes. I'm on board. I'm on board.
He's a special buyer.
Yeah. Oh, don't get me wrong. Aldi has some great special
I
buys. Sean,
have-
would you like to get up the current catalogue and we tell us what's in
Oh,
the special buys?
Can I ever? It's
My
a favorite bar.
RoboVac. My RoboVac is a Aldi special buy.
Yeah. While we do that, let's
This
get
week.
into some banter.
This week's special buys.
Boy, do you want to fill us in on a developing story that we're probably 2 weeks behind? Some astronauts in space.
Yeah.
Some Addy
The,
boys are stuck.
The Starliner astronauts that were supposed to be going up for 8 days and have now been up there for like 2 months.
And are not coming back until February?
I haven't read that. I'm sure that you have, so I'll trust you have read that. But I have read that it's going to have to be a SpaceX capsule that brings them back.
Yeah, so what happened with the Starliner? I just don't believe it's going to be secure enough for re-entry.
It's not space-worthy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so something went wrong. I'm not quite sure what, but it sounds like maybe there's some power issues or something like that. Like maybe it's not secure enough to get through the atmosphere on the way back.
That's what I thought. Something
Yeah.
like that. But yeah, they've got plenty of rations. That's not a drama. They've got plenty of stuff to stay up there for that long. But yeah, it was meant to be an 8-day mission. It's going to turn into possibly an 8-month mission.
Yeah.
Whew.
Yeah, that's space flight for you,
Mm-hmm.
especially on a new capsule by Boeing.
Anything else you want to add to that, or we're good?
Or are we getting into the special buys?
No, not quite. I want to also speak a little bit more about a space-related topic.
Yes.
Star Wars Outlaws
Oh, yes.
out next week. I'm very excited for that.
It is. It's going to be pretty good. I'm still hesitant being a Ubisoft game, but I'm pleasantly excited for it.
I am every morning. I'm getting on YouTube. I'm like, "Well, what new videos out?" That's how pumped I am for it.
Damn.
I'm very excited for this.
You and I go the opposite way when games are coming out.
No.
I don't look at anything.
Yeah, I block myself out.
I use depends on the game.
Yeah.
I'm super hyped for it.
Super hype.
Super hype.
You mentioned it's an Ubisoft game.
Mm-hmm.
I was worried originally, but I've seen some gameplay videos. It's not your standard go to this tower, unlock this part of the map, which gives you all these little waypoints to go and do.
Oh, Far Cry
Yeah.
and Assassin's Creed.
I was about to say Assassin's Creed.
and Watch Dogs. And what's the other one?
Careful, you'll make me play Assassin's Creed again.
Yeah, look, I downloaded Assassin's Creed Syndicate today.
I might also go back to Far Cry. Those were great games.
I
I'm
had,
going to
great.
just bail on this podcast.
They're great.
I had Far Cry 6 and it wasn't great.
They're great for an hour,
Yeah.
and then they're not great.
I remember Far Cry 3 was very good.
Yeah.
Did we do that together?
It was, but that was only because of the villain. The
Yeah.
game
Yeah.
was still the same.
The game was
Yeah,
the
but
same
didn't
game.
that villain die super early in the
No.
game?
I don't think so.
No.
Well, there was someone that is like, they set him up to be the big villain. They die super early.
I think that was 4.
You might have been 4.
Yeah, it might have been 4. I played Primal, Far Cry Primal, the
Oh, yeah.
prehistoric one. Call it simple. It was really quite fun.
Yeah, cool.
I did enjoy it. It was made up gobbledygook, but
Yeah.
it was I enjoyed it.
Well, Outlaws is made by the same development team that did The Division, Massive Entertainment. So
Okay.
they've got the cover shooter type of thing. Anyway, I'm super pumped for it.
Yeah.
So.
It's going to be awesome.
And I get it on Tuesday because I bought the more expensive version, which gives me 3 days early access.
Nice.
Anyway, so that's going to be the latest entry in the Star Wars saga. Speaking of sagas, Aaron, how's your PC going?
Yeah, it's not good, is it? It's not looking good, bruv.
And tell me, how necessary were these upgrades?
The video card, quite.
Really?
Yeah.
Please, for the listeners, can we start at the beginning?
Okay. So I built this PC that we're currently recording on in 2021.
Yep.
And I built it with the idea that video card prices are ridiculous. I will wait until they stop being quite so ridiculous. And so I waited for 3 years. And
What was the video card you had in it?
It was a 2080 Ti. Oh, sorry. When I built it, a 970, which is now 5 generations old.
Yes. But then you
There's
got
the 10, 20, 30, 40. Yeah.
But you got the 2080 Ti,
Got the 2080 Ti
which
for
is
it.
not a terrible graphics card. Sean.
No. And I decided prices are okay now. They're not great, but they're okay. I'll buy a video card finally to build the PC that I wanted in the first place. And so I purchased a 4080 Super.
So the cost of that video card.
Look, money.
No. We're not going to put an actual monetary value on it.
And how quickly would this graphics card be obsolete?
Oh, not too soon.
It'll last a while.
It'll last us.
How long?
Oh, years.
How many?
I'd say 3 or 4 years.
3 or 4. Okay.
The 2080 Ti that's in it came out before like 2019.
Mm-hmm.
So that got 5 years.
And how much was that? The 2080 Ti?
Used 1,000.
Used 1,000. Okay, cool. So
No, I
used
just want to
more
ask.
than my Xbox, which I haven't had to upgrade, and I've had since 2019 or whatever.
Series X coming
Series
out
X?
2020, I think.
I was in
It was
Townsville.
2020.
No.
The cost of the new graphics card, was it more than the cost of the entire PC that you previously built?
No, but it was very close.
Okay. All right. That's all I wanted to ask.
Actually, no. With the graphics card that I got for it, no. It was only about 2/3 of the cost.
Okay.
Okay.
So then I was like, our friend Cheesy is also rebuilding, building himself a new PC. And he was like, I talked to this person and they suggested that you need a more powerful power supply. I went, that's weird because I built this thing with the idea that I would have enough power. And turns out, I needed more power. So I had to upgrade the power supply. And in the process of upgrading the power supply...
Power supplies aren't very expensive.
They're not, but it's just compounding, right?
Yeah. So at this point, I'm now up to 2 purchases. In the process of buying the power supply, I discovered that you need a special kind of cable for the new video cards, which I didn't know about, which converts the old power supply type to the new cable type. So I had to buy that. So I'm up to 3 purchases. In the process, I thought I'll buy some extra RAM because I am editing video now and it would be nice to have a little bit faster of an experience doing editing. So I purchased some more RAM for the current PC. Those parts came and I went, all right, I'm going to build the PC. And I immediately discovered that my case, which I thought was big enough, I had measured, I hadn't taken into account the radiator. So the case was not big enough for the video card. That's okay. I'll upgrade. I'll put the new RAM in. In putting the new RAM in, that then started blue screening my computer. I'm not sure why. Still not sure why. Did a whole bunch of tests. One that took 20 hours. Didn't find anything, but it hasn't done it since. In the process of that...
I wouldn't have said that. I'm going to be watching that screen
I know,
now.
I'm very worried. In the process of all this, I purchased the new case and some new fans for that case. The case arrived and I went to start building and discovered I don't want to pull this one apart. And so I purchased all of the remaining parts to build a new PC, which doubled the total build cost of the upgrade.
And what happened yesterday?
So yesterday, all the parts are here. And I'm like, all right, I'll do the build. So I pulled the hard drives out of the old PC and the power supply, which I put in there before I discovered the GPU was too big. And I started building. And during the build, everything's going great. I get to the point where you put the cooler on top of the CPU. If you've not built a computer, the CPU is like the brain. It sits in a slot in the motherboard, and then you put a cooler over the top.
Pretty much all the processing power goes through it, so it gets very hot.
Yeah. So I put this cooler on top, and it's got
hot.
4 screws that you need to do up. These are regular screws. They have like a little standoff, which is like a 2-thread either side of a little spacer. I put them all in, and then I get the cooler and put it on top, and then I'm doing up the screws, tighten it up, and one of them shears off. And now I can't finish the build on my PC until I get a replacement part. And NZXT are not open on the weekends, which means I have to wait till Monday, and they reckon they take 2 days to respond to anything. So it'll be Wednesday before I get a response. And
probably not until after the weekend for him to get the parts sent out.
So, John, you and I play video games as well.
That's correct.
That's correct. We've been known to dabble.
I play on my Xbox. I play on the VR. I play on my laptop right here.
Plenty of video games. You have an Xbox Series X, much
Correct.
like I do. How much did it cost? Brand new?
$750.
About that, yeah. You got yours at launch?
I got it at launch. I got it for less than $750 because I traded in my One X.
Yep, I did the same thing. I got mine at launch. I traded in my Xbox. The names are now
One X.
One X.
Onyx.
I didn't have a 1X. I had a 1S. So I traded in my 1S. So we get them at launch.
Mhm.
I've never upgraded the power supply. I've
Nope.
never upgraded anything. And
Please,
Star
please.
Wars is coming out next week and we can just buy it and play it straight
Please.
away.
60 frames a second, maybe
Yep.
120, 4K.
Really clean in whatever monitor we want. It doesn't matter if it's a TV or just
on a
standard.
55-inch LCD.
Yep, and
OLED, sorry.
Yeah, and I don't need to sit at an uncomfortable, dorky-looking desk to play it. I can just sit on my lovely, comfy Nick Scully couch.
No, and when you turn it on, it doesn't pop up and
Sorry.
say, hey, there's a new driver available. Why don't you download it,
Yeah, why don't
install
you
it,
download
and
a
then
driver-
you do
yeah.
that, and then all of a sudden something else stops working.
And then
you
it
need to go
bricks
to-
it. Yeah.
I'd like to deflect with the humble brag that he just got in there on my Nick Scully couch.
Where's your couch from, Aaron?
Nick Scully,
Yeah,
but I
exactly.
didn't have to mention it,
Anyway.
did I?
Anyway, so we play lots of different games on our Series X.
Correct.
Racing games, shooting games,
Yep.
action-adventure games. So Aaron on his PC from memory plays Formula One,
Yeah.
and that's it.
PUBG.
A little bit of PUBG,
Little
which
bit
you
of
can
PUBG.
also play on Xbox, along with Formula One as well.
Saying that I prefer to play on my laptop because keyboard and mouse for
Keyboard
PUBG
mouse,
is a bit better.
nonetheless. So all in all, my Xbox plus your Xbox plus the racing wheel that I have, which I did borrow off him, but let's just add the retail in there anyway. Plus
probably-
your racing wheel.
Probably the cost of my TV.
Okay, add in the cost of the TVs, the cost of both Xboxes, the cost of both wheels,
All right.
and your laptop
All
just for
right.
shits and giggles
Is about the same cost, yes.
is about the same cost as his graphics card.
No.
And it's only been 3
It
years.
hasn't even been used yet.
And hasn't even been used yet. Yep. So it's only been 3 years.
hasn't had any electrons
Yep.
Has
through
not
its
been
silicon
powered
yet.
up.
And
I
all
know.
of that equipment is multi-purpose, and I can keep it in my lounge room so my wife can use it as well. Whereas his computer stuff will take up an entire section of his room, antisocially at the back of the house.
Oh, you watch 4K movies on it. It's got a 4K
That's
disk
true.
drive on it.
But every time a new game comes out, oh no, it's not compatible. You need to upgrade your device.
It's not that it's not compatible. I
You
just
need to
want
upgrade
more
your first one.
frames,
You need
higher
to
fidelity. I also do the video on, I edit the podcast on it.
Yeah.
I work on it.
Yeah.
It's multi-purpose.
It's
Xbox
not-
just games.
Xbox just games, multi-purpose. So you need a gigantic graphics card.
Oh, look.
To do
no,
work-
you don't
to do
need
work.
that, but it's nice to be able to play games on it that look good.
It's nice, and then there's the price tag on. It's
How many
nice.
motorcycles do you own, Sean?
I have 2.
That's weird because you can only ride one at a time.
That's correct. Yeah,
How many sets of bagpipes?
I have 1 set of bagpipes.
Yeah, how many do you have available to you that you play
4
regularly?
sets, and I play them regularly.
Okay.
One of them is 100 years old.
How many shirts do you wear at a time?
I see
One?
where you're going with this. So the bagpipes I'm playing at the moment are 100 years old.
Yeah. That's just
That's
interesting that
3
some things
years.
are okay to
My
spend money
multiple
on.
controllers now doesn't seem too bad.
Yeah, I'm jumping on John's controller bandwagon now. Like he is cleared of all wrongdoings when it comes to these
John has about
controllers.
2 controllers per person in his house.
Yeah, exactly. And none of them need graphics card upgrades.
That did almost get a spit take. All right. Yes, I understand. I spent a lot of money on it and I still can't use it. It's sitting there fully constructed, but I can't use it because one screw broke. Yes, I
Look,
understand.
In Aaron's defense, I wouldn't mind a little bit more power out of my laptop to run my VR smoother.
We wouldn't mind a little bit more.
No.
So, yes, the saga continues is essentially
We
what
look
we're
forward
saying.
to the next
We were here
episode.
2 weeks ago talking about this same thing,
Yep.
and it's just gotten worse every time.
And my headphones still don't have fabric on them. I still don't have a microphone that matches. I have to use this big silly thing.
Aaron's still wearing in-ear ones.
Oh, they're better.
I prefer using
I'd
this.
rather use the in-ears. I have my own in-ears, but I haven't got an amp
Looks
for it.
cleaner.
Yeah.
Unless you got big ears like me, then these hide them.
Now I'm picturing like Dumbo ears unfolding when you open it. Anyway, let's get into Aldi.
Right. Yes.
Well, we're going to need a Manscaped sponsorship to upgrade our components. So we'll
Actually, that would be, any sponsors out there? I'm too poor now.
stay out of this. You don't get sponsorships. You
MSI,
too poor to upgrade equipment
Asus, Acer. You want to sponsor
Give us a
Sean and I?
sponsorship.
Don't worry about
don't
him.
worry
He's
about
covered.
him. He's
You know what?
fine.
All you have to do is replace the gear that we need to replace. That's like a couple $100 tops.
Yeah, I know, but we need to replace. You replaced a gear you didn't need to replace, and now it doesn't work.
I never intended to end up in the position I'm in. I just nickel and dimed myself to it.
Oh man!
So Aldi, have you got the special
I have
buys
got
up?
this month's
Are there
special
any
buys up.
gaming PCs in the special buys?
There is a monitor. There's a monitor, and it looks pretty good. And you could buy 14 of them. Roughly 14 of them.
How many 6-inch subs could you buy with Aaron's PC?
Oh, jeez.
Well, it depends if you're getting a pizza sub or
I
not.
reckon you could buy the whole neighborhood lunch
For a month.
for a month. Yes.
Do you know how popular Subway still is? One open
Don't
near my work.
deflect.
It's bonkers every day.
We're ragging on you. Don't
Eat
deflect.
fresh.
Let me do this.
No. Oh,
So
he
special
probably
buys.
could have opened a Subway.
He could have bought a
Franchise
franchise.
costs would have been less. Oh,
Again,
man.
I never intended to end up in this
Yes,
situation.
I reckon if
Yes, you intended to buy a new one. You just needed to get it past Brie.
If the video card had just fit in the case, it would have been over that day.
I reckon if you just bought a Tesla Model 3 and then just took the parts out of it, it would probably work and cost less.
If I ever buy a Tesla, shoot me in the head.
Took one home from the football last night. Wasn't bad.
They're nice, but like you just know they're going to be a problem.
Oh, yeah. No
And
denying
Elon
that.
is a psycho.
Yeah. Still not as big a problem as computer parts not fitting, though. Anyway, Aldi special buys. So easy. Let's see. First up, we've got some chocolates, giant licorice, because it's Father's Day
This is the
stuff.
Father's Day colour.
Father's Day stuff. Oh, a Cooper's homebrew kit.
Uh-oh. Sean's going to start buying.
I've already got homebrew gear.
I think I seen in a catalogue, was there a kegerator?
Yeah. So
Kegerator. A keg in a fridge.
Yeah.
Kegerator.
the homebrew
$6.99, I believe.
The homebrew kit looks a bit strange because the picture is obviously a stock image, and it says $29.99, which is horrendously cheap for homebrew kit. We've got a kegger. Yeah, there's a kegerator. Far out. Okay, so the actual brewing micro kegerator device is only $1.99. where you can put a small 15-liter keg in it and then pour the beer straight out of it. The large
We
one,
should buy a bar.
the large one, which holds a very big keg, like a 50-liter keg.
Well, you could have actually bought a pub with the cost of your graphic.
Yeah, it's could have. It's $6.99 for the 50-liter keg holder, fridge, and the tap,
Oh, yep.
and it has a 3-year warranty. Apparently, we got wine and whiskey decanters of varying shapes and sizes, $14. We got a chillable wine holder, electronically chilled wine holder, just like a single bottle one for putting on your table for $99. Right. We got wine racks,
Do we have to go through the whole thing?
Yes. Tech. Top-notch gaming PC.
$2.99.
An LG monitor for $99. Smartwatches for $49.99. Unknown brand.
Smartwatches.
Unknown brand. 32-inch smart television, $189. Record player with speakers, $99.99. Home grooming things.
Don't have to go through the whole thing.
Links Africa packs.
I'll get me some of that.
Some clothing, which is, best dad ever shirts. Sleeping bags, fishing gear, eskies. Then lowest prices guarantee on some bread.
Cool.
Cool. So let's go with the history of
You're so mad.
Aldi. In the workers' quarters of the small town of Essen, Germany, in 1913, Anna Albrecht opened a small grocery store.
What a time to open a store.
Actually, some articles say her husband, Carl, did. He opened the store, but then had to hand the business over to her after being drafted in 1914.
Oh, what for?
World War One.
Oh,
Dub one.
WW1.
Carl was a miner, as in he mined minerals underground, not under the age of 18, but later transitioned, possibly due to illness, to a baker's assistant. So some say he got like the black lung and had to transition out of the mines.
Lung.
They had two sons, Carl's Hand and Theodore Paul, in 1920 and
What about his
1922. Stop deflecting.
That's a timeout. Stop deflecting.
Theo would complete an apprenticeship in his mother's store while Carl worked in a delicatessen.
Mm.
In the late 30s and early 40s, much like the rest of the world, the two brothers got caught up in a little thing called World War II.
Dub deuce.
We'll start with Carl, the oldest, first. He was drafted into the Wehrmacht and was sent to the Russian front.
Ooh, that's not a place you want to be.
No.
At all.
At the Russian front, he was wounded, returning home in 1945. Theo was sent to fight under Rommel in the Afrika Corps and was captured by Allied troops. Sources aren't clear if it was in Italy or Tunisia, but spent most of the war in a POW camp and returned to Germany in 1946.
Okay.
So that was pretty much, that was it. Upon their return home, the store, which at the time was just called Karl Albrecht, was still there. So it was literally just called Karl Albrecht.
His
and I think
name.
and it might have been like the German word for groceries or something.
Mm.
That in itself is a bit of a miracle, as Essen was a prime bombing target during the war.
Lebensmittel.
Yeah, what does that mean?
I don't know, but that's on the store window.
On the window, yeah.
It says Karl Albrecht Lebensmittel.
Probably grosser.
Can you Google Lebensmittel?
Lebensmittel.
So yeah, Essen was a prime bombing target with over 200 bombing missions ran over Essen.
It means groceries.
This was because the town housed Krupp Armaments, a major supplier of steel and weapons to the Nazi war machine. But alas, the little grocery store was spared.
Good for it. I love seeing those. I don't love. It is interesting seeing those photos of the towns that have just been decimated and like they rebuilt all of that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I guess the same thing is going to happen in Ukraine at some point too. You think like once everything's finished over there, like the two brothers took over their mother's store. Two things influenced their early business model. One, they were from the neighborhood of Schoonbeck.
Sorry, say that again.
Schoonbeck.
Is it Schoenbeck?
I don't know. It's not on my... Hang on.
I'm very excited that it's a German episode because German words are so fun to hear.
It looks like it's spelt like a schooner, but then with Beck at the end. So that's why I went Schoonbeck.
Is it spelled SCHOENBECK?
SCHOONEBECK.
Double O?
Yep. NEBECK.
Where's Sophie when we need her?
Schoonbeck.
Schoonenbeek.
Schoonenbeek?
Is a village in the Dutch province of Drenthe.
In
SCHOONEBEEK.
No, one E.
One
Beck.
E, sorry, Beck. It's an astonishingly small difference for two towns that are in vastly different countries. There's only one letter.
This is in Germany, not...
That's actually that's fucking very funny. Search and said for Schoonenbeek.
Schoonbeck.
This is stunning listening.
It still keeps talking about...
Anyway, it's a neighborhood. It's not necessarily a town. It's just
Let's call it Schoonenbeck.
Schoonenbeck, which was a run-down working-class neighborhood. So the people there weren't very well off. Just very common man.
Must be nice.
Second...
Yeah, it must be nice.
Must be nice to have two PCs.
Yeah,
two high-end gaming PCs. Second, life goes...
I hadn't thought about that. I do literally have two.
Yeah, mate.
Oh, no.
Yeah, must be nice.
I've really lost touch, haven't I?
You've lost touch with the common man.
Second, life in post-war Germany was, how do I say, difficult?
Oh, why was that?
Because they lost.
He's trying really hard to deflect it away from him right now.
The brothers themselves had little money, but they were able to reopen the family store, but could only afford to offer basic staple items. Examples would be noodles, pasta, and soap.
Okay.
Hence, their business model was born. Offer the basics at a cheap price point. And people responded to that. They came and shopped at the store, but they had to cut more costs, and one other thing they got rid of was the store clerk.
Right, so you had to put your own groceries in the bag.
A store clerk was pretty common at that time. You'd enter a store, tell the clerk what you wanted, and the clerk would go and fulfill your order.
Oh, right. So you wouldn't go browse the shelves yourself?
No.
Right.
Not having a clerk allowed more cost savings. The tradition of self-service still operates today in Aldi stores. If you've been, you know, bagging your own groceries.
Hold the bag open and let them chuck them in.
So, I guess in that time in Europe, it was quite common to have that store clerk there. You'd go in and go, I would like, this is my shopping list. 10 minutes later, all brown paper bagged up type of thing. It was said that was a very American thing and like to go into the store and do your own thing. And so they kind of adopted that over. Just helped them save a bit of cost.
Cost a bit of save.
Their no-frills, low-cost approach earned them a bit of a cult following. And in 1948, they had opened 4 stores. So just 3 years, they've expanded to 4 stores.
The length of Aaron's computer lifespan.
And, well, he's got 2 computers, not 4.
So 1.5 years.
Yeah. Their new empire grew even further, and 2 years later, by 1950, they had opened 13 stores.
I don't want to build 13 computers.
You can build one for me and one for Sean.
Fucking Business Insider won't let me read that.
I'm one more upgrade away from having a computer each for you.
Oh man, that's going to look great when we do the podcast. Just 3 of us sitting at nerd desks like talking about it.
Anyway, Aldi. They had how many stores?
13 by the end of 1950. Nothing was stopping this little grocery store chain that could. By the end of 1960, the 2 brothers were overseeing 300 stores across Germany.
Okay, that is fast growth.
Yeah, so 1948 to 1960, we've got 12 years.
What part of Germany were they in?
All of Germany.
All of it.
Oh, okay. Wasn't Germany like all split up?
East and west. No, they had stores all throughout Germany at this point by the end of 1960.
So Germany wasn't really split east-west.
Yeah, Berlin.
Just Berlin was.
Yeah. Actually split 4 ways.
Well, no, it wasn't. It was split 2 ways. It was initially split 4 ways and it became 2 ways.
West Germany.
Yes.
I actually really don't understand the whole West Germany thing. I'll have to.
Oh, it's more complicated than it sounds.
Yeah, like TLDR is Soviets came from this way, the Americans and the Allies came this way, and they met in the middle, and they went, all right, well, we'll look after this half, you look after that half, and then it just became like East and West Berlin.
And that got involved with the Cold War then, because it was the Soviets and the Americans?
Yes.
Okay. Well, there you go.
And Berlin itself was split in half, so you had the democratic part of it, even though they called it democrat. You had Western Berlin was part of Western Germany, but it was in East Germany.
Yeah, all of Berlin was within the Soviet-controlled part of Germany.
Okay.
Even though Western Berlin was part of West Germany, it was in the eastern part, and they had to fly in supplies. It was a whole thing. There was like agreements about how they could come in and out, and what planes could do what, and what trains could do what. Yeah, it was actually really, really.
Be an interesting
fascinating story we might do.
Yeah, it's pretty complicated.
So the Berlin airlift was an incredible feat of logistics.
The reason for this continued success was keeping their costs low, not selling perishable items, and they removed and discontinued any items that didn't sell. Plus, they kept the size of each outlet small.
Mm-hmm.
In the early 1960s, the smooth road to enterprise success hit a few potholes.
Uh-oh.
Well, one main pothole, really. The 2 brothers had a bit of a fight.
Oh, have we got an Adidas Puma situation?
Over what? What's the Adidas Puma situation?
They're run by 2 brothers.
Are they?
Yeah.
Do you not know?
No.
Another story we'll do one day. Also, if anyone tries to tell you it's Adidas, they're
incorrect.
An idiot, because the guy's name was Addy.
Did you know the CEO of Intel and the CEO of AMD are cousins?
I did not know that.
Just bringing it back. Aaron, you have an Intel and an AMD computer now, don't you?
I do, yes. Shut up.
Rude.
Did you watch that video I sent the other day with the thing?
Yeah.
Bringing it back. Just full circle.
Yeah. Adidas was started by Adolf Dassler, and that's why
But his nickname was Addy.
Addy. That's why it's Adidas. So when everyone says it's Adidas, like I remember I had
Are
a
you
friend.
just going, ooh, because of the name Adolf?
Yeah.
I had a friend of mine.
We were talking about the Nazis a second ago.
This is a real thing that happened to me. I said, "Oh, we'll go to the Adidas store," and she said, "Oh, it's Adidas. It's American." I'm like, "It's absolutely not. It's a German company, and it stands for Adidasler." And she's like, "No, it doesn't." I'm like, "You're just wrong. Like, this is not even a discussion. That's factually just incorrect."
If someone tells you it's Adidas, stop talking to that
Stop
person.
talking to that person.
So what are we thinking the brothers had a fight over?
Oh, it'd be a girl, right?
Not quite.
Oh.
Sean probably knows because you just read it.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
It was a fight over to stock a certain product.
Mm-hmm.
What product?
Is it guns?
No.
Oh.
Darts. Durries, ciggies,
Oh.
smokes, cancer sticks.
You meant like darts.
or,
That's controversial.
or more commonly known as cigarettes. Yeah, see, I went with darts
The
first.
gaspers.
Face candles.
I went with darts first to throw you off because I knew if I said durries straight away, you know exactly what I was talking about.
Carbohydrates.
I was really hoping you were,
I did
you were
something-
thinking darts straight away.
Swifties.
That
I
worked
did
so well.
something really dumb the other day at work.
Mm.
So,
Oh no! Don't tell this story.
Did you buy a third computer?
no, fuck.
Yes, he did.
Oh, crisp! I
That
hope
was
that's
a
picked
crisp
up.
high five,
My
and you can't even afford that.
there was a set of drawers for someone that no longer works with us beside my desk because there's some documents in it that maybe we'll need. And somebody bumped into it. They're like, "Oh, why is that there?" I was like, "Oh, because it's just I've got to clean it out." And then he said something, and I was like, "Oh, let's see what's inside." So I opened it up, and there was 2 cigarettes and those long lighters, the ones that are meant for lighting like barbecues and stuff. One of them. And I was like, "Oh, you stop being so lippy, or I'll burn something." Like, watch this. And I just picked up one of the cigarettes and lit it in the middle of the office. And it started smoking like they do. And he's like, "What the hell are you doing?" I'm like,
Smoke detector?
No, it just all of a sudden the office smelled like smoke, like cigarettes.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why I did that. What did I expect?
You obviously too can preoccupied.
Here we
with-
go. He's going to do
Yeah,
the
he
thing
expected
again.
a smaller graphics card to rescue him. He was hoping that if he fumigated his work computer, then he'd get an additional.
The work
computer.
would get him a new
The
laptop.
work would get him a new.
I have been discussing the need for a new laptop.
Yeah, I bought this in 2020. Still kicking.
Yeah.
When did I get mine? 2022?
Something like that.
Mm.
Yeah.
Still kicking.
So yeah, Theo wanted to sell cigarettes and Carl was 100% against it.
Yeah.
Carl,
This was at the point where they were like arguing about whether they were healthy or not, right?
I'm not
60s?
sure.
When's Mad Men set? That's in the 50s.
Yeah.
So it must have been.
Yeah, Carl believed it would attract and encourage shoplifting. No middle ground could be found, and
So which global superstar chain did he start?
well, this not only split the brothers,
Mm.
it split the company.
Right.
They would draw a line through the middle of their hometown, Essen, splitting all 300 stores on either side of the ALDI equator. So they split it north and south.
Right.
So not only is
Did they build a
Berlin,
wall between them?
yeah, not only is Berlin. So
Essen.
when you said it was split 4 ways, you were kind of correct because you had the Berlin Wall and then you had the
Essen
Aldi,
wall.
the
Essen
Aldi,
Wall.
Aldi equator.
Yeah.
It was at this time as well that the name of the company would change from its original name to an abbreviated amalgamation of Albrecht Discount, which is the German word for discount.
What's Albrecht the word for?
That was their last name.
That's the name.
Oh, right. Yeah.
The first 2 syllables from each word combining to get
Aldi.
Aldi. With the split, the company was separated into Aldi Nord and Aldi Sud, north and south.
Oh, like Korea.
Yeah, while they have been financially and legally separated since 1966, they still work together to share information and negotiate with suppliers for better deals.
Oh, so they're still separate companies.
Still separate companies.
Oh,
Financially and legally separate.
right. And they've
Yes.
kept the names?
Cooperatively combined.
Oh, okay. That's
So-
kind of cool.
In the late 60s, the Audi brand, both Nord and Sud, started expanding across Europe. Audi Sud acquired the Austrian grocery chain Hoffer, and in 73, Audi Nord opened its first international store in the Netherlands. Both together, currently, they have more than 13,000 stores worldwide.
So what's the one? Okay, well, I'm probably getting ahead of myself.
Yep.
Yeah.
Audi Nord is responsible for stores in northern Germany, Belgium, France, Luxembourg, the Netherlands, Poland, Portugal, Spain, and the US. And this is by means of acquiring Trader Joe's in 1979.
Aldi owns Trader Joe's?
Trader Joe's operates separately
Oh.
from Aldi Nord and continues to operate under the Trader Joe's name. But yes, the parent company is Aldi Nord.
Right, there you go.
Aldi Sud manages the stores in southern Germany, China, Ireland, United Kingdom, United States, Austrian through the previously mentioned subsidiary Hofer, Hungary, Italy, Slovenia, Switzerland, and here in Australia.
Right.
So the Aldi we know in Australia with the blue and yellow is
Aldi
Aldi Sud. Aldi Nord, I think Sean just showed a picture of it. It was like a blue, like dark blue and a light blue.
Yeah, it's a dark blue and a light blue and red logo.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Ah.
so that's Aldi
Nord.
Nord, and Aldi.
And the one we know is Aldi Sud.
Right. Okay. Look at us learning. Getting back to the roots of the podcast.
I believe,
He's deflecting again.
I believe the US is the only country to have both Aldi Sud and Nord in operate.
Oh,
So Aldi in America, the Aldi stores are Sud, but the Trader Joe's are the Aldi Nord
yeah.
stores type of thing. Here for us, the first store opened in 2001 in Sydney
Mm-hmm.
Was it that old in
Yep.
Australia? Oh, right.
and currently holds a 12.6% market share, which makes them number 3 behind Woolies and Coles.
Who else is there? IGA?
IGA.
Drake's.
Yeah.
Foodland.
Is Drake's not part of IGA?
Okay, so
IGA is not like
Drake's
a company.
No, IGA is a conglomerate.
Mm.
It's a cooperative. So Drake's, which is mainly in South Australia anyway. Then
Spa?
there's no, that's different.
That's part of the
Yeah.
Woolworths brand, isn't it?
I think Spa, the Spa Martin, a lot of them are IGAs. Spa isn't though. Spa is its own weird one.
What you're asking, they pretty much knocked IGA out of that third
Yeah.
position.
Yeah, they knocked IGA out of the third spot.
So at the moment, there are 590 stores in Australia. There are none, however, in Tasmania or like the Northern Territory in Darwin, in that northern area of the country.
Mm-hmm.
Why?
They just haven't expanded there yet.
Distribution. So I actually have an answer for this without me looking it up because it's the same reason they don't have one in Townsville. They can't open an Aldi store without a close enough distribution centre, and they need to have a justifiable reason to open a distribution centre. So for instance, in Queensland, Rocky was previously the most north Aldi. I think they have one in Mackay now, but like it was Rocky because that was as far as the distribution centre could legally cover the distance, but there isn't one in Townsville because they would have to, it's too far. They would actually have to build a distribution centre either in Cairns or in Townsville for them to justify having the stores. And same thing with the NT and Tasmania. They need to have that distribution centre and they just don't. So they can't just be like, oh, we'll open the store now and then do the dist centre later. It's a hot topic in Townsville because they kind of need Aldi.
Yeah.
Like the cost of living up
for the
there is
market.
not brilliant.
Yep.
Yeah.
How about other Aldi ventures, specifically in our shores?
Right.
Do you know of any?
As in other things they've done?
Mm-hmm.
No.
I didn't either until I read about them.
Nvidia. No.
But, yeah. Aldi discount PC parts.
Aldi discount PC parts.
There was an Aldi alcohol.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
They sold adult beverages from their Victorian stores since
Who has ever called
2003.
them adult beverages?
Well, I didn't want to say alcohol again. So
Booze.
since Victoria since 2003.
Liquor.
And they may have had standalone alcohol stores until March of 2016, closing them down, stating a focus on expanding the supermarket across Australia.
Yep. Aldi in New South Wales, Victoria, and South Australia has alcohol.
From what I could tell, Aldi still sells alcohol from its stores in New South Wales, ACT, Victoria, and WA.
Sorry,
That's
jumped
pretty
the gun.
common for...
Sorry, jumped the
Well,
gun.
good. Nah, it happened the other week, except I just was polite about it. I didn't
Yes.
say, shut your mouth.
Shut your mouth. Yeah, it's pretty good. You can buy the most useful aspect for all you standard Aussie battlers out there is you can buy a half. No, you can buy a half case of Cooper's Pale Ale. So 12 stubbies.
Nice.
Sometimes I don't want a whole box of beer because if I have a whole box of beer, I will drink the whole box. Of beer.
I recently bought a case and it is taking up a whole shelf in my fridge.
For probably the 10th, maybe 15th time of my life, I actually bought an entire case of beer. It's not something I do very regularly.
I've not bought bought more than a 6-pack in
In a long time.
I want to say 5 years.
Yeah.
Since COVID.
Yeah. So, you can buy half cases, much like you can in other countries, but Australia is a bit strange. Like in New Zealand, you can
We're talking about beer.
you can buy half
Excuse me,
cases
by the way.
of lots of stuff in New Zealand and other countries, but Australia's alcohol laws are just frankly a little bit crazy. So yeah, but Aldi in New South Wales and that, you can buy half cases. It's really convenient.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Because they don't do it in Queensland.
Yeah.
Nope.
No, they don't. It's really handy.
Also,
same thing with
okay.
with Costco.
Every single Woolworths.
Costco booze, New South Wales, ACT, Victoria.
what's
South
Queensland
Australia.
doing? Pull your
I don't
finger
know.
out.
Okay, but every single Woolworths, there is a BWS
Right
within
outside.
3 meters of the entrance. Like, it's not that bad.
It's not compared.
They've worked it out.
You've seen
even Coles. Coles have what they've got outside their little
Liquorland.
brand. Yeah, Liquorland's pretty much outside every Coles.
at all their giant markups that they do for their individual companies. When you have like Aldi booze and Costco booze, it's really, really handy because
Is
they
it? Because it's all taxes.
yeah, but it's all sold at their discounted rates that they can somehow write off in a different way. Because
I guess
it's
Dan
just,
Murphy's is usually cheaper.
damn if it, man, Aldi is even cheaper than that. It's crazy. You can buy like a 12 pack of Cooper's Pale Ale for like maybe $1 or $2 more than a 6-pack.
Recently, in June of this year, they launched Aldi Insurance, which provides home and contents, car and landlord insurance, which is backed by Honey Insurance and RACQ.
There's an Aldi mobile as well, isn't there? Like for phones.
Internationally, they also dabble in petrol stations called Discount in Australia, Austria, and Aldi Talk, which is a mobile network in Germany. They also have Aldi Mobile here in Australia, utilising the Telstra network. So you are correct. There's an Aldi Mobile.
Before you go sign up for Aldi, just remember they don't use all of the Telstra towers.
Sounds like industry
Yes. All those discount brands, all those discount brands, they don't have access to the full network. So if you go out regional, you'll still be stuffed.
So is that it from our favourite discount supermarket with a rotating stock of different household items?
Absolutely not.
No. We have more story from their history. Well, more from their owners. Jumping back to 1971, as the Aldi business was booming, that kind of made the brothers a bit of a target, and Theo was kidnapped and held for ransom.
Oh, jeez.
Initially, the kidnappers were confused and instead insisted on seeing Theo's ID to make sure they were abducting the right person.
Sorry, can we just make sure you're who we're supposed to be stealing? No.
As it seems, Theo's tight marketing strategy also extended to his personal life. It was said that he would collect used pencil stubs and use them frequently, as well as just eat plain meals, mainly consisting of potatoes. Also, one time when he was approving the plans for a new Netherlands store, he is quoted in saying, "The paper used is too thick. If they were to use thinner paper, we'll save money."
Right.
So he's a bit of a Scrooge, this fella.
I mean, like, you kind of have to be to make a business work for that long.
He was also known for wearing ill-fitting, cheap suits, which is what confused the kidnappers.
Right. So they found this guy and he's wearing some
probably
oversized suit.
Looking like a bit of a bum.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hang on. What? This is the guy we're meant to kidnap?
Mm-hmm.
He looks like a homeless dude. He was kept in a cupboard at gunpoint for 17 days, while the kidnappers, a lawyer by the name of Heinz Joachim Ollenberg, thumbs up from Sean,
Thumbs up.
and his accomplice, Paul Kron. They asked for 7 million German Deutschmarks, roughly 3 million Australian dollars. That was the largest ransom at that point in German history. It's also said, ever the businessman, Theo negotiated his ransom amount with his kidnappers himself.
Do you really think I'm worth that much?
Yeah.
I think I'm pretty garbage.
Or was it that? Or was it, come on, guys, I'm worth a bit more, aren't I?
$20? Come on.
14080 graphics card? Come on, a bit more than that. At least a new power supply as well.
I miss when we were just saying my name, Jeff.
Nah, this is better. And he even tried to divert it to me. Successfully diverted it back to you.
Theo was released after the ransom was paid. It was delivered by the town's bishop, like the town of Essen's bishop, Franz
Ferdinand?
No, Hensbach.
Ooh.
Hensbach. It's Buck.
Hensbag.
Anyway, moving on. Paul was arrested a little while later after being caught spending with spending the marked bills. So they paid the ransom with marked.
Right. He took some.
Yep. While Heinz attempted to flee to Mexico, but he was returned to Germany.
Tried to flee to Mexico from Germany.
Yep.
I feel like there's easier places to get to.
Only half of the ransom money was ever found, though. The two kidnappers spent 8.5 years in prison. And even after they got out, there was still the ongoing mystery of the missing money, I which believe has never been solved. They still...
So it must not have been spent, right?
Some say Heinz took a majority of it and stashed it away. Others say it was hidden away in Swiss bank, like offshore bank accounts. But it was never solved before both kidnappers' deaths in 2017. So both the kidnappers died in 2017 and they never gave up the location. Theo, once again, demonstrating his business sense and cost-cutting prowess, tried claiming the ransom money as a tax-deductible business expense. But alas, was unsuccessful in that claim.
Right. I wonder what tax category that comes under.
Business expense. It was, but pretty smart of him. Just Sean loves it.
I love a good deduction.
We've had discussions recently about, are we boring when we talk to people? Questioning, I wonder what part of tax that comes under. Boring. That's a boring question.
Oh, well.
Just while you're down, just kick it further.
What am I going to do?
That's boring. That's a boring question. That's the most boring question you've ever asked on this podcast. Put it on the tally.
What bracket of tax does that
What
come
bracket
under?
of tax does that come under? That's the most boring question. That is not even the plain white t-shirt of questions. That is the grey suit of questions.
The wholemeal bread of questions.
Good one.
Oh, man.
The ordeal, however, did have lasting repercussions on both brothers, as afterwards they became very recluse. Allegedly, the brothers would take an armoured car home and would make sure to take different routes each day. Only 2 photos of Theo were published after the kidnapping, one in 1971, one day after his kidnapping, and one of the 2 brothers together in 1987.
So they're reconciled.
They always were reconciled.
They were always
split
reconciled.
the business, but they would
right.
collaborate on distributors and markets and things like that.
Right.
and
So they were never
purchasing.
like, oh, I hate you.
No.
They were just
No.
like, I don't want to sell ciggies.
They
No.
just wanted to do their business differently.
Yeah.
Theo passed away in his hometown of Essen on July 24th, 2010. And Carl was listed in the richest men in the world multiple times, with the highest in 2004 coming in at 3rd. Carl died on the 16th of July 2014, also in Essen, and at that point had an estimate of 23.14 billion USD.
Wow.
Which made him the richest man in Germany,
Correct.
according to what I just saw.
So number 3 in the world.
In 2004. Yep.
Wow.
3
Even more than the oil tycoons.
3 years after they launched in Australia. Like, we weren't only just learning about this company. He was like the 3rd richest man in the world.
Yeah.
Wow.
I was only just getting teased for having Aldi food in my school lunch.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I've done a taste test between Choco Rice from Aldi and Cocoa Pops. Choco Rice is better.
Interesting.
Aldi cream cheese.
I know the Belgian chocolate Aldi gets
It's
pretty
pretty good.
delish.
They get marzipan as well. If you're into almond flavored things, they do get marzipan.
Sounds like a drug.
Yeah, I thought that was like the anti-shake medicine from Metal Gear Solid. That's diazepam.
That's diazepam. That's a benzo.
The Albrecht
We're talking about confectionery.
the Albrecht family still own both Aldi companies, with Theo Albrecht Jr., the current owner of Aldi Nord, and Aldi Sud being owned by Karl Albrecht Jr.
Right.
So their direct sons both
So
own
they
still
both
each one.
named their children their names set the junior.
Do we want to look up the catalogue now to see what special buys are coming up? But we've already done that.
We do not need to do it again.
And that is
One moment.
the end of the Aldi story.
Much more interesting than I would have thought when you first said Aldi.
Let's look up the next.
Well, that's what I thought when I come across the 30-second TikTok video when it went into...
Yeah. There was a kidnapping.
Right.
It was a kidnapping.
Coming soon.
Originally, there was some speculation that Carl might have been behind the Theo kidnapping, but it wasn't.
I bought all my snow gear from Aldi the first time I went to the snow.
Did you?
Yeah, he did. Yeah. Yeah. And it all
That's probably the
fits.
last time he kept in touch with the common
No,
man.
Yeah.
don't you dare. So what happened with the snow gear was before we went to New Zealand, I was like, I'll just get my old snow gear out. And this is just after we'd moved, like 6 months after we'd moved. And I was like, I can't find it anywhere. Did I throw it out? And I had a memory of throwing it out, or at least thinking about throwing it out. And so I was like, why would I throw it all out? We were talking about going to New Zealand. Oh, so dumb. So I bought all the gear. And
the
then
new gear's Louis Vuitton.
shut up. I bought new gear.
I was there.
I was at a
Gucci.
sale. I bought it for 50% off. Thank you.
Very,
And
very common man.
yeah, very common man. Coupon hunting. And then I got home and I pulled down. There's a set of cases in my cupboard that I pulled down because I was like, oh, I know my jacket's in here. And there was all the snow gear.
Yeah, so now he has a set of snow gear per computer.
Just happened to think, I threw this out. Let me go buy this expensive snow gear that I don't actually need because I've already got a set.
It's monogrammed.
I don't know where it is.
Monogrammed Dolce & Gabbana. Yeah, it's good.
Got his monogram on it.
Yep.
Oh, wow.
Richie Rich.
It's JB, jealous bitch. Coming up in Aldi special buys next month.
Oh, God, don't go
yes.
through it.
Please
Please
tell
don't
me.
go through it again.
What are the highlights?
Toasters and kettles in a couple of different forms. Some of them are they Breville? No. What brand is that?
Sunbeam.
Nope. Some
No, it'll
random
be some German.
Sterling. We got a coffee pot, like a drip filter coffee pot. A NutriBullet shaped blender that is definitely not NutriBullet. A whole egg cooker.
Why would that trigger Google?
Who knows? Why do you have the boops on? That's the most annoying sound.
So you know when it triggers?
Yeah.
It lights up. You just see the light turn on.
How often are you looking at it?
Well, I say, hey, Google, and then I look at the light to see that it's listening.
Sean's like this.
So I don't have to go.
Hey, Google.
So it doesn't have to go boop, 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 bloop, 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 bloop,
Okay,
all
it
through
is,
my whole
it is
house.
pretty annoying in this house because I've got so many of them.
How is that microphone on in that one? That's an odd choice.
I should be turning that one off, yeah.
Bed and breakfast trays, some odd-looking fry pans, tablecloths, children's dinnerware.
What albums are coming out in record? Because I've purchased a few record albums from Aldi.
So far, can't see any. Some power tools.
The Eagles Live.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Some
It's
power
just
tools.
Eagles, by the way. There's no the.
Yeah, but no one says that. Everyone just calls it the Eagles.
Just take it easy.
Being such a
Is that
desperado.
meant to be an
What do you mean?
Eagles joke song?
The song Take It Easy.
Yeah, okay.
Some Star Wars garden ornaments for $29.95.
Have you actually listened to that
Star
album
Wars
you
garden
bought?
ornaments.
Yeah, Star Wars of
that
Yoda and
sounds
Darth
good.
Vader. A mountain bike with an e-mountain bike, helmets.
Oh, Aaron would be keen for that.
Oh, a bike, a push bike workshop stand which holds 2 bikes, or is it a storage stand? Either way, it holds 2 bikes, $59.99.
Or 2 PCs.
No, probably not. Probably not. Wouldn't be strong enough.
The bit's done, boy.
It's not.
It's not. It's done when we say it's done. You don't get to decide that.
It's not gonna
you
be-
don't pick your own nickname, and you don't decide when we're done ragging on you.
It's not going to be done until you finish building this PC, which is still going to be happening next episode.
No, he'll be building a third one.
It
by the
is
time that
likely.
happens.
It is likely when we record again, I won't have finished.
So we get a whole nother episode
Tune in
of this,
next
people.
episode for what fresh hell has befallen me.
Ooh.
Anyway, thanks for listening this fortnight to Cheeky Tales, History of ALDI.
Mm-hmm.
You can find some extra pictures and stuff on our socials, on Facebook, X, and Instagram.
And potentially the special buyers catalogue for this month.
That might just be what we upload.
Yeah, it might just be that.
It is at Cheeky Tales Pod on all 3 of those social pipes.
If you see the Aldi special buyers catalogue, you are in the right place.
If
It's not a spam.
If you're getting this episode through your ear holes, there is video version of this podcast you can find on YouTube at Cheeky Tales Pod as well.
Yep.
And if you are watching it, you can also find this on your podcast platform of choice. We are on all of the podcasts except Google Podcasts
Because it doesn't exist.
It doesn't exist
We're
anymore.
going to use YouTube Music now.
Pocket Cast is okay.
So, and I believe because Aaron did back podcasts,
Mhm.
the last 2 episodes,
Mhm.
we kind of reversed this order for some reason. I'm doing the next one.
Yes, you
Yes,
are.
you are.
So it'll be me again in a fortnight's time.
Mm-hmm.
The history of Coles.
Well, I got nothing else. Good night, Chiquitos.
Good night.
Surely we've got one more on him.
Go on.
Man, if
Send us-
only somebody could fade it out to
Send
black.
us home, Sean, with another riff.
I mean, we could just send it home, but I don't know. I don't know what we got.
Oh no, the episode's ending. Oh
How
no,
dare you?
somebody
Clint,
stop the recording.
How dare you? Don't you dare.